Hey guys, this is Lynn from Gamers Nation 1234. As you see, unfortunately, Will could not make it today. He sends his apologies, but we do have some members here, and if you guys will introduce yourselves, and we have Bawse,
What's up, YouTube? It's Brooklyn Boss, the one that you love to hate.
and then we have Thuggy.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Thuggy Plus, your handheld and console gamer.
Okay, it's good to have you guys. I'm glad you were able to make it. And I understand that you guys have some questions, comments, articles you would like to share. Whoever would like to go first, go ahead, step in.
Absolutely. There's been some Ubisoft news that has been released pertaining to the Assassin's Creed Unity game that is due to come out next month. The fact that it will only run at 900p, 30 frames per second, and the reason that it's going to be running at that rate is that they don't want any more comparison. State in the beginning of the year that they're pushing for 1080p. 900p will be the standard for Assassin's Creed Unity so far.
Well, I have a question in reference to that. Now, so many people have issues or they feel like resolution is just the biggest thing ever. Do you feel that that is a big deal? Do you feel that resolution is a big deal in reference to gaming?
Oh, resolution. There's a place for it. It plays a big part due to the fact that we paid $500 for these set boxes, and we want to get the best visual quality out of them, and we want to see the best gameplay possible. So yeah, it does play a part, but I think that 900p, that's not that far from 1080p. And I think that we've seen games so far up to this point that was running at 720p and even at 900p released on the new gen consoles, and they're actually been pretty good. And we probably can't really tell the difference. Maybe some gamers can that are into the graphic fidelity in games that have an eye for that, but the general gamer, I don't think overall will have an issue with 900p fidelity gaming. Actually, is even more stable when it's running at 30 frames per second. The frame rate is more of the biggest issue that you would possibly have playing the game. Because if the frame rate is slow, then the game experience is going to be very bad. So 900p is okay.
Well, from my understanding is that resolution, like a naked eye cannot tell the difference in resolution once you get, like 900p, 1080p, whatever the case may be. From what I understand, the naked eye can't even tell the difference in that resolution, yet people make it such a big deal.
I agree with you 100% on that. And you know what it is? I feel like console gamers, we at some point find ourselves comparing PC graphics to our console set box graphics. And if you're a console owner, it's never going to be what the PC is. They're dealing with technology which is unlimited. They're dealing with technology that will always surpass us because they can always change and mod the actual fidelity and quality of that experience. So, as console gamers, we can't look at it always like that from that perspective. We got to look at it from the perspective of: is the game good? Is it worth playing? Is the frame rate is bad? But overall, it's a game, and if you are a gamer, then you're going to play anything. But I definitely agree. It really shouldn't really be an issue, personally.
Okay, I agree. I agree. But how people are, people will find something to fuss about always.
Oh, absolutely. It's like some folks will say that games that release DLC months after a game come out is milking the consumer, or it's not a complete game. But then when a game that they really enjoy comes out and it does the same exact thing, then they're willing to overlook it. So it comes down to personal preference, overall.
I agree. Dougie, you have some game releases.
Yeah, I got a list for some of the biggest 3S games that's coming out before the end of this year is out.
Hmm.
We got Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that's coming out November the 21st in North America and November the 28th in Europe. Then we got Sonic Boom, Shout Crystal. That's November 11th North America and November 21st November. We got Persona Q. That's coming out November the 25th in North America and November the 28th in Europe. Got Harvest Moon, The Lost Valley, October the 21st in North America. In Europe, still is waiting on the release date. We got Story of Seasons that's coming out. It should come out within this year. Don't got no exact release date, but that's basically an Animal Crossing. I mean, it's basically a Harvest Moon game. We got Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. That's coming out November 11th in North America and November the 11th in North America and the 14th in Europe. And that will be coming out on the consoles as well. Got Phoenix Wright, Ace of Authority Trilogy. No exact release date, but I guess it's coming out by the end of this year since it's in this category list. But that's pretty much all the top big games that's coming out for the rest of this year. Oh yeah, as well as the Fantasy Life. Of course, Europe already got their hands on that game. And also we got
I can't wait for that.
We also got Monster Hunter 4 Direct coming out. That's gonna be a Japan Monster Hunter. I mean, it's gonna be a Japan Nintendo Direct. It's gonna be October the 8th.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. Actually, I just got some news. Once again, Ubisoft is the news here today. They also just stated that the Wii U will not be featuring Assassin's Creed Unity because it's not powerful enough and it couldn't handle the game. I want to know what you guys think about that.
Go ahead, Thuggy.
I don't know. I think they really didn't want to try to know. I think they didn't really want to put their time into trying to make the game because they know it's not going to be up to par like the PS4 and Xbox One systems, and they probably don't believe it's going to sell as much. So they just said that it's not powerful enough to handle it. I know they could dumb it down to make it available to work on the system. They just probably didn't want to waste their time making the game for it. It's not going to sell too much.
Well, they claim it has to do with the processor, right, Bawse?
Yes, it's not only just the processor. The biggest issue that they had is going to be the crowd. The crowd is not there just to be like an aesthetic background. The crowd in Assassin's Creed Unity is going to be a crowd that you actually going to be able to interact with and is going to play an integral part in the game. So they're saying that the Wii U basically wouldn't have enough computing power to handle that.
I wonder how much of that is actually true, because it just seems that, I mean, maybe it very well may be, but at the same time, to me, it seems that people are looking for reasons not to put games on the Wii U. People are looking for reasons not to support that console, and if they don't have support, they're not going to be around too much longer. I mean, at least the Wii U is not. Nintendo in the handheld market, they're killing it, but as far as the console market, they're not doing too hot. So it doesn't seem that developers want to even take the time out to maybe do a workaround, if anything, to try and get these games to work on the Wii U. They just don't want to support it.
I mean, I don't want to look at it from that perspective, because if you look at the history of Ubisoft as far as the last couple of months, they already stated that they're not going to be bringing any more mature games to the Wii U due to the fact that it's not selling there. They're not making as much money there. So I wouldn't say, that all developers or all game companies are supporting the Wii U. Ubisoft is just stating that, look, this is not where we're going. This is not a game that's going to be on their system. But I think that they have a point because, remember, they also said that the game is going to be running at 900p. Okay, the Wii U can't even run 1080p. So what makes us think that it's going to run 900p, 30 frames per second on a game that's exclusively, at this point, going to be next-gen only? So not only do you have hardware issues you got to take into consideration, you also got to take into consideration the sales of their particular games, and the Wii U has never been great. It's not that they haven't tried, but gamers are always going to compare, which they shouldn't, but they're always going to look at the PS4 and the Xbox version and say, well, look at the modes and look at how it looks on this version. Now look how it looks in the Wii U. And then the Wii U fans are going to say, oh, they made us a shitty game, or they made us a game that isn't as beautiful or doesn't have all the modes that the next gen games have. And you got to accept that it's not going to have all the modes. You know, if everything is going to look like everything, then what would be the difference in all these different consoles? PS4 and the Xbox One exists. And there's a reason why the Wii U is not as powerful as those two consoles. And we just got to come to terms with that. I don't think it's nothing to do with the fact that they don't want to support Nintendo, because ultimately the past has showed us that they have always supported Nintendo. But it comes down to a bottom line. You got to make money. And if it doesn't make sense, then, you know, why support it?
I would just like to see the Wii U do better than what they're doing. They're just not doing too hot. I mean, maybe they released it prematurely. I don't know. Maybe they didn't put enough time into, you know, doing what they need to do or whatnot. But I just hate to see how the Wii U is going. It's not going too hot, and they just don't have the support. They don't have it.
I think that they didn't somewhat future-proof their console. Like you said, it could have came out 2 years too early, but that's not a console that's going to be around for the next 10 years. And that's a problem that they had from the very beginning of releasing the Wii U, from the jump. It's not that gamers don't want to play there, but if they don't see any change, any difference in the Wii U from the Wii, which there is a big change, but it's not enough of a change to keep consumers there playing on it, then you're always going to have that question, well, why would I want to play a game on this console when I can play it on another console and it actually looks better, it plays better, it feels better? You know, it's so many technical issues that the Wii U is still dealing with. The online player-to-player gameplay capabilities, they haven't even fixed that. So I think that they got a myriad of issues that they got to address before they can actually really say, well, if no one wants to support us.
Okay.
Which there is a big change. But
Let's see. Well, I came across a article in reference to huge companies, tiny consoles. So basically, they're speaking about there are going to be these companies that are making these little set-top boxes that are, I guess, Android-type based set-top boxes that can basically deliver a near endless stream of music, television, movies, and games. So we've got, of course, we already have some now. The Fire TV is one, and they've actually dropped their price from $99.99 to, I think last I saw it was maybe $80-something. And of course, they have a controller for that. And then there's another company that's supposed to be coming out with a set-top device. Let's see, who was this? I forgot who it was. Of course, you have the PlayStation TV. They're coming out with the little set-top streaming device too. But then there's another company that's coming out with a set-top TV. Well, a set-top device. Razer is taking on the micro console as well. Like, how do you guys feel about these small set-top boxes that they're coming out with to stream games and content, kind of like Roku, Apple TV, whatever the case may be? You know, there seems to be a lot of companies that are trying to dig into this, and make a little money. They're streaming like Android type games, and they're running the Android operating system and things. So, like, I mean, could this add to the console war?
You want to go, Thuggy, or
Well, for me, I'm not really into the no mobile games, so um it doesn't really appeal to me really. I don't think it will fit into the console wars because it's just mobile games. It probably compete with the handhelds a little bit, I guess. I really don't. I really don't know say. I mean, I really don't know what to say about this topic really. I just don't really play with the Android type games or Apple games. They really don't appeal much to me.
Okay.
I think that, like you said, Lynn, I think Roku was the first set box type of device like that I actually bought that actually allow you to stream movies and now allow you to play like one or two games that came programmed already on the Roku. And I think that from then on, that kind of branched off into its own tree of gaming. But from what you described to me, it sounds like it's the PlayStation TV, which will allow you to watch movies, watch shows, but also stream games. But gamers got to take into consideration the fact that if you don't have a decent internet connection, or if you are possibly using Wi-Fi to stream your internet to the device, then you're going to have some hiccups, frame rate issues, dropping video, and the quality of it is probably not going to be up to par. The gaming aspect of it, I mean, how good could the games really be? That's yet to see. I would have to see what type of titles they'd be able to stream over to the actual box, and would you be able to buy these games, or would you be able to only rent these games? These are questions that we don't know yet. But I don't think that we can look at it as a particular device or genre that's going to compete with the mainstream games that are out now, like the PS4 and Xbox One. There's no way. You have too much behind that. Those consoles offer too much. But not only do they offer much more, they're actually going to be around for quite some time. And who's to say that these devices are going to be around for those time? Like the Xbox One, you can actually do everything that those set boxes are doing, even more. You can add your cable to it, stream movies, and play games, and play mobile games on it. So I really don't see where this particular devices are going to fit in the game scheme of things.
Well, it seems to me, from what I've been reading, that this could possibly pull in the tablet, the cell phone type gaming people, and plus it seems that it's fairly reasonably priced from what I can tell. So, for those that may not be able to afford, $400 and $500 for a console, this could be kind of like a backup to where they could still be able to play said games on the big screen and still be able to do the things that you can do on your Roku or your Apple TV as well. Like, I'm sure the streaming services will be there as far as Netflix, Hulu, things like that. It's basically giving, I guess you could say, Roku and Apple TV a run for their money if you want to look at it that way because of the other content that they will be offering as well. So I'm not sure, you know, but I think it's cool to have different avenues of different ways to game. Not just the mainstream, to have something in addition to that. So I mean, it might be a good thing. It may very well be a good thing.
But I also want to add on, it probably not going to really do too well because the Ouya is basically kind of like that. Got the Android mobile games on that you can play.
I've
I'm
had
not
a lot of
sure.
issues with my Ouya. I have. I don't. I took it out. I put it back in the box. It's upstairs. So, anybody have any questions? Be sure to leave comments. We will answer them live on air. But How do you guys feel about the Oculus Rift?
The Oculus Rift. I think the Oculus Rift is going to be revolutionary. Actually, if they can get the price down, the fact that Facebook is now supporting that particular device and company, they got the marketing dollars to actually create it to a point where it could be feasible for the average person to use. The biggest problem that they're probably going to face is software. What developers are actually going to jump on board, because this is going to be something that's going into territory which is uncharted. The games are going to be so immersive that how gamers are going to take to it, as far as just looking at your TV or actually being immersed in the game. It has its upsides and downsides. Could it be too real? Could it be too immersive? Is a question. Could some people experience nausea or eye issues, or so there's so many different questions that I have about this particular device, and they haven't put out a release date that the consumers can actually go out and buy it yet. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, Thuggy.
What was the question again?
How you feel about Oculus Rift? That's that virtual thing you put on your eyes and play games.
Didn't Facebook buy that?
Yeah.
Let's see what that. I'm not really interested in it. I don't really know what they could really do with the Oculus. Um, I don't really mess with the Facebook games. But most likely they're probably gonna be like for like some social type games. I heard they might do with it, whatever. But I don't really care for the Oculus Rift. But I'm looking forward to the PlayStation Morpheus.
Okay. Well, I feel that if they could get that under control in reference to people getting sick, because I've heard that is mainly the thing that they haven't been able to stabilize it so people don't get nauseous. That majority of the people are actually getting sick when they try to play the game. So if they can stabilize that, I feel that they can do fairly well. I mean, now me personally, I definitely would not use it for those games, the survival horror games, because that would be too real to me, entirely too real. So definitely no, as far as that's concerned. But I would like to try it just to see. So anybody else have any other things they would like to bring up?
Absolutely. What do you guys think about the YouTuber of the year, of the millennia, whatever you want to call it, PewDiePie? The fact that he's actually started his own network and wants to be able to help gamers and YouTubers that put up content create a more polished channel and make more polished videos. How does that affect you guys, and what do you think about it?
Well, I've seen a lot of his videos, and my understanding
Um,
is that. Go ahead, Thuggy.
you go ahead.
Well, my understanding as far as his videos, my understanding is he has a lot of tweens that are his followers. So he has a lot of young kids that follow him. And for him to have that large of a group of people following him, he tend to curse a lot in his videos. I mean, a lot. And he yells a lot. Like, he uses the Oculus a lot. So he was, doing some gameplay on that. He played a little of the Alien Isolation on the computer. So, I don't know. I mean, I would like to see how he would be able to help other people. I think that is a really good idea of him wanting to do that. But I don't know. Apparently, he's doing something right if he has millions and millions of followers. So, I guess I can't say anything in reference to that, considering I don't have anywhere near that. So, it would be interesting to see what he would do to be able to help other YouTubers. And it's actually cool that he would actually want to do that, because you don't hear of any other people that have basically said, "Oh yeah, I like to help fellow YouTubers um, polish up their game. I mean, their content. But at the same time, how much is this going to be? It's not going to be for free."
My thoughts on it. I really haven't watched any of his videos before, but I think it's cool that he is, trying to help out some YouTubers, get their content better or right. Um, just just wait and see what happens with it.
I mean, personally, I think that I mean, I mean, how big does this guy really wants to be? Personally, I think he's very big. He's well known. He has over 20 million followers. He makes millions of dollars a year, and I think that he can do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to create his own MCN, then great, go for it. Obviously, you're going to keep people who's going to sign up for it, and basically what that's going to do is allow him to make even more money without even
Hmm.
having to put up any content or even having to do anything at this particular point. But of course, people would do it, and I have no problem with it. Whatever floats your boat. I won't be participating in it, and I wouldn't prefer anyone else to participate in it because how big are you actually going to get if you actually put money in his pocket, bringing him more views, making him more money, and you're actually denying yourself the ability to grow as a YouTube channel in the first place because people are only going to follow you, I think, if you're associated with him to some extent. So what is he going to do? Mention your channel every couple of days or every month or something like that, and then people go following you. You think you're going to get 5 million followers like he got or 20 million followers? No. So, like I said, the base that he appeals to are really young males. You know what I mean? Between the ages, I would say, I'm just guessing, of between 20 and 15 or 20 and 14. That's the demographic that he's appealing to because I've watched his content a few times just to see what everyone is so fixated and fascinated about. And it's more goofy to me than anything. It's not entertaining to me because it's not as funny the things that he do to, that he do in his channel. And he can do it because it's his channel. He can do whatever he wants. But me personally, I don't see any difference it's going to make in my life or my channel or any other YouTuber that's grown, that's an adult, that's like, why would I want to partner up with this dude?
Well, that makes sense. Um, Goodness, I was going to ask a question now. I forgot what it was. Well, anyway, Thuggy, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yes. Oh, I'm not familiar with the Far Cry series, but Perk is going to be part of the pre-order if you pre-order the game. When you pre-order the game, you'll get like 3 missions, 3 single-player missions, and with you teaming up with the guy. But yeah, like I said,
Okay.
I played the game before, but yeah, Herc is going to be available if you pre-order him. I mean, if you pre-order the game, he'll be included with the deal. I mean, he'll be included with some DLC.
Okay. I don't know anything about that.
Hey, Doug, can you repeat the question? What was the question?
Boss wants you to repeat
Hmm.
it.
Oh, I said Herc is coming. I mean, Herc is going to be um basically a pre-order bonus if you pre-order Far Cry 4, and you get like 3 single-player missions.
I don't. I like. I'll be lying to you if I told you I didn't pre-order any games. Anything that I'm interested in, I usually pre-order, and I'm interested in four, but 3 missions. I mean, they sort of did that with the last Far Cry 3, and I mean, I forgot the dude name that you got 3 missions for, a couple of missions for, and it's not going to make or break the game. What's going to make or break the game if it's good or not. And I don't want you throwing content out at me to buy or to experience before I even play the game. Give it like a week or two before you make this an option because I don't know if I'm going to actually like this game. I like Far Cry 3 now. Don't get it wrong. And I did support that, and I did buy the DLC for that, and I enjoy that. So we're going to be pretty much getting what we got in Far Cry 3, maybe a little more. You know what I mean? The worlds are going to be pretty much the same size so far, what they said. It's going to be a different story, of course, and that's going to be great. But the DLC, let me get into the world first and see if I really like it. Because the DLC that they released in Far Cry 3, I believe it was Blood Dragon. It was a standalone DLC. It was you play as a like a cyborg and dinosaurs, and it kind of threw me off on what the actual story was with Far Cry 3 because I was like, why would you incorporate something like that when the story was like this? It was more set into, rich kids getting abandoned on an island, stranded on the island, and them dying, and one having to survive and become a man and kill off his oppressor or his killers or his kidnappers who kidnapped his friends. But then you bring some neon dinosaur fighting cyborg type experience. I didn't enjoy that. So I want to see what the game is about first before I spend any more money.
That sounds like a good idea. I have something in reference to the 3DS. Supposedly, the 3DS sales top 45 million worldwide. Pokemon XY, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D Land are the top games sold. This is as of 45 million worldwide as of September 27th. And of course, we all know that Japan is the largest market, where they sold 16.31 million units, and nearly a third of the sales came from the U.S., which 12.86 million units, and similar in Europe with 11.94 million units sold. Pokemon X and Y is the top selling game for the 3DS with 11.86 million units, and it took the game exactly 1 year to reach that milestone. The second best-selling game is Mario Kart 7 with 9.83 million units sold, followed by Super Mario 3D Land with 9.61 million units sold. So, yeah. Other than that, there's New Super Mario Bros. 2 with 7.73 million units and Animal Crossing New Leaf with 6.96 million units. So Nintendo supposedly last month announced that the new 3DS will come out. Of course, it launches in Japan and Australia this year and in 2015 for the rest of the world. So I'm taking that by them saying the rest of the world, we are getting it next year. So that will be really cool. They're also releasing a NES-looking 3DS XL as well as a Persona-themed 3DS XL in North America this year. So how you guys feel about these, about the 3DS as a whole and the selling of these games? And the fact that even Mario Kart 7 is still a really huge seller.
I mean, I'm on board. I mean, even though I don't own a 3DS anymore, I would like to get one again at some point if they make a game that I'm really interested in that I had to have. But I'm all for and on board with what Nintendo is doing. That's been the only bright spot so far in the last couple of years as far as their gaming content and product. It's been selling. It's the number one selling handheld console worldwide at this particular point, even though it does have much competition with the PS Vita, just cannot find its traction in its own lane. So the 3DS has been obviously dominating that particular market. I just want to see if they can actually expand on the content of the game and the type of games that they create. That'll be the next milestone to what they're doing.
Thuggy?
What's the question again?
No, I was just talking about the games that was sold in the 3DS sales. The console itself sold 45 million worldwide. The 3DS sales, and it's like Pokemon, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario Bros. 2, Animal Crossing. Those are the top sellers to date.
Well, of course, I already knew that the Super Smash Brothers was gonna be one of the top selling units because it's a very popular game. Um, I think I think the 3DS is doing good. It's gonna keep on continuing, especially with the new 3DS. I believe it's gonna sell more units. Um, Nobody got nothing to say about it. I think Nintendo's doing good with the handhelds. They just need to improve with the console.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Microsoft sold 100,000 Xbox Ones in China on day one.
That's very, very big. That shows that Chinese gamers, they still want to play games. They've been denied the ability to play games for so long now.
Hmm.
They had to pretty much do workarounds to get gaming into that country, and then they find out that the game is region locked or a console's region locked. But of course, hackers will figure out a way to play it in their home country. But this is good. This is really good. This is a slap in the face to the folks that say that console games this is a viable market which still continue to break records as far as entertainment, as far as money gained. Gaming. Gaming is the number one form of entertainment right now in the United States. I can't say that for the worldwide, but it's going to get there at some point. So this is all good news.
I agree. I totally agree. So, anybody know anything about the Samsung Gear?
Yes, I have a Samsung Gear smartwatch.
Well, supposedly the Samsung Gear VR, I'm assuming it's a virtual reality thingamabob. It's supposedly a leaked document suggests that the Samsung's Gear VR will be available December 1st at $190. So it's
Ooh,
their own virtual reality. It's their own Oculus Rift, basically.
wow.
So it'll be around the $200 mark.
I would have to look more into that. This is the first time I've heard about this particular product. I would like
Hmm.
to read more into it.
Well, it's a quote unquote. You might as well say it's a rumor. So
Okay.
yeah, you guys have heard it here first on Gamers Nation. Yeah, supposedly, since IFA, I don't know what that is, IFA last month, there have been a number of awaited Samsung products. No doubt the most awaited was the Note 4 series of devices with both the standard Galaxy Note 4 and a slightly stronger sibling, the Note Edge. So basically, less publicized but just as anticipated Samsung device is the Galaxy Gear VR. V as in Victor, R as in Ronald. If you missed the early reports, this is Samsung's take on virtual reality and their version of the more commonly known Oculus Rift. Since its outing at IFA, we have seen limited but reoccurring reports on the device's predicted availability and price. No firm details have been given by Samsung on the Gear VR, but it was reported last month that a UK online retailer, Mobile Fun, had started taking pre-orders for the device. Through Mobile Fun, the VR unit was being priced at E150, I guess for UK consumers, and E250 for international orders. This was a little more expensive than what had been anticipated cost for the device, which was more expected to be around $200 mark. In spite of the pre-orders being active, there was again no indication of when the device would be available. So today it seems a leaked, apparently internal document had appeared. There's an image, but it's in Chinese, so we can't read it anyway. Suggesting the VR unit will be available to buy from December 1st. The document mainly suggests the release date is for Samsung's home market, South Korea, with no further details on whether the device will get an international launch at the same time. The document also suggests the device will be priced at roughly $190, which is a lot more in line with what would be expected. It is worth remembering the Gear VR only works along with the Note 4 and has such anyone wanting to buy the unit does have to buy the Note 4 too. Well, that sucks. With this in mind, it is not in Samsung's interest to price this item too high as its lack of compatible devices already limits the potential customer base. Samsung won't wish to further reduce the customer numbers due to a heightened price point. If you're a gamer, then the VR is probably of most interest to you. However, gamer or not, if you do want to give the unit a go and see what it's actually all about, Then it was reported last week Best Buy have received their demo units for in-store testing. So those interested should head down to Best Buy. Otherwise, interested buyers will have to wait till December 1st.
Yeah, that's a mouthful of info. I mean,
Yeah, but you
um,
gotta own the Note 4.
see, that's the problem because I don't
That
own a Note
is.
4. So, oh yeah, you know what? I believe you have to. I think I did see the device at one point. I think you got to connect your phone and put it on top of the device, or at least in the front of it, and have it run off of whatever your phone's running on, and it'll run off of that type of GPU because it doesn't have a standalone built-in system that supports it by itself. So, but see, that's the problem because then what if I'm a owner of a different type of phone brand? Then can I not use it?
Exactly.
So then is it only relegated to Samsung products? But if you want to make a product like this, it should be available to Android. Period. You should be able to go to the Android store and download games specifically for this product. That would make more sense because then it'll be more. But I don't know. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah.
I mean, but think about it. I don't think it's ever going to compete with the Oculus Rift because if this is running off your phone's GPU and CPU, I mean, that's not quite powerful. I mean, even though, you know, cell phone games have come very far in the past and where they are presently now, the Oculus Rift is running on actual computer GPU components and specifications. So it's going to be that much more elevated on the tier that this Samsung product will probably never be able to get to if it's running on your phone's computing power.
I know. That just messed it up for me. It really did. It seems
Yeah,
like it's an accessory to the phone then.
I agree.
But so the crew has been delayed to December 2nd. And I've noticed a lot online that people are kind of comparing the crew, Forza, Drive Club. They're comparing the three basically as one entity or whatnot. I see a distinct difference, even though they may all be drivers. They're all driving simulators, whatever you want to call it. I do see a distinct difference, especially between Forza and the crew. Well, Forza and the crew are more alike than Drive Club and Forza and the crew. Drive Club to me is more of a just a straight driving simulator where you're on tracks, whereas the crew and Forza are more open world and more yeah, just basically open world. I mean, you're doing anything from track racing to off-road racing. You know, there's all different types of racing you're doing in Forza and the crew, as opposed to Drive Club is strictly tracks. So, do you guys note a difference in these games? Are they one and the same? What do you feel about that?
I think that Drive Club and the crew can't even utter the word Forza Horizon in the same sentence because first of all, those are two brand new IPs that they're trying something on. They're trying to experiment. They're trying to see if they can actually build a market and build a franchise, which I really don't think they're doing because the way they're coming out the gate is very wrong and half-assed. Forza is a game or a brand that's been around for a very long time now. You know what I mean? And I've played each Forza, and I even got Forza Horizon 2 that just came out. And by the way, I must say that the presentation and the graphic fidelity and the quality of the gameplay experience is superb, is second to none. But maybe the next contender behind Forza is Gran Turismo. And even Gran Turismo got some shaping up to do. But the crew, the fact that it's delayed, it doesn't surprise me. Wasn't Drive Club delayed 6 months? And so far, what we have seen so far, Drive Club should have been delayed even another year, maybe, because you only got a certain amount of cars, you only got a certain amount of circuits, and then you have to buy other circuits and cars and tracks just to experience this game. Shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
when you pay $60 for a game, shouldn't you get a complete game, all in one? See, this is something that we've been talking about on a lot of podcasts. The fact that developers are scamming folks, and folks are not speaking up. You're not voting with your dollar, and you're not voting with anything. You can't say, "Well, I'm going to support a game or support a company that produces a game that's complete, that gives you a complete immersive experience," when it ultimately doesn't. And it comes down to fanboys. A lot of fanboys have been pushing Drive Club and the Crew to be a game that is ultimately not shaping up to be. We already had arcadish racers like Need for Speed and Burnout. Bring those back. Those have more of a chance in the fight than these two IPs because they have so far not lived up to the hype. So I think that we can't even compare Forza Horizon 2 to the Crew and Drive Club because they had not merit anything yet to even be worth comparison.
Thuggy?
Yeah, I agree that you can't, compare the Forza Horizon to the Crew and Drive Club. The fact that Drive Club doesn't have really too much cars, I'm thinking that the game is going to be not really too long, story wise of it. The Crew, I'm kind of interested into that game. It looks interesting. But it's still, I don't know. I'm interested into the Crew, but I'm not sure. I'm not too sure if it's going to do too well compared to Forza.
Well, I can tell you this now. I've got Forza on the way for the Xbox One. Keep in mind, I do not own an Xbox One currently, but I will at the end of this month. So I will have Shadow of Mordor. I will have Forza Horizons 2. I will also have, of course, the game Sunset Overdrive. So those I will have definite day one when I receive the console. And I can't wait because that's going to keep me busy for a very, very long time. I can't wait. And speaking of the Xbox One, segue, Amazon have dropped the price of the Xbox One with Kinect. I see here, I'm on the page now, which I saw an article, so I decided to just go to the website. I see here there are 148 offers from $400. This is complete with the Kinect, guys. I also see the Xbox One console with Titanfall. That includes the Kinect as well for $429.95. Those are offers too. Then we have the Day 1 edition. 115 offers from $387.99 for the Day 1 edition.
Wow.
On Amazon website right now. So you can also get the Kinect for Xbox One. 5 offers from $89.50. That's a lot cheaper than what they're actually selling it, for in the stores. My understanding is what? It's $150 by itself? That's too much. That's too much money. So, yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Actually, this is the first time in any console generation where you've had more than one price drop in a new release of a console in the first year. And
Mhm.
it's not the fact that the economy's bad. It's not the fact that the gaming industry is bad. It's the fact that they're overpriced. And this is not when the PlayStation 3 first came out or PlayStation 2 first came out. People are willing to pay $600 for a goddamn console. Times have changed, and people are more frugal with their money, and they should be, especially with what's being offered. Because PC, if you want to get really games that look really good, you can go on PC and pay $1,000 for a PC that's going to last you maybe 10 years. If you keep up with the upgrading of the hardware and the modules of it. So I think that right now it's really good to be a gamer. It should be no reason why a gamer that says they're a gamer shouldn't be able to buy a PS4 or Xbox One right now at a reasonable rate.
Yeah, that is an awesome price. Awesome. Um, Do any of you use the Facebook Messenger? I've installed it, uninstalled it, installed it, uninstalled it. I'm just done with it. I'm not using it anymore. I see an article here where it says Facebook Messenger could soon let you pay friends. So it's somewhat like, I don't know, PayPal?
Yeah. What they were saying basically is if you wanted to send a friend, a Facebook friend of yours money, you can actually do so by putting in your credit card. Of course, they got to have their credit card information in as well. But you can send them money that way, like Western Union or something like that. But you can actually send it through Facebook. I won't be doing it due to the fact that not only is the government and NSA spying on people who be writing messages or writing anything on Facebook, but that's a bit too much information for me to give up. I don't like giving my bank account number out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I don't think too many people would be eager to do that. At least initially, I think maybe as a couple of years go on, then you might see a change in heart in that practice. But I think that you shouldn't need to install the Facebook Messenger to send folks messages. I don't like that at all. I remember when it
Exactly.
first started, and I was trying to send someone a message, and it prompted me to actually download that app, and I don't want to do that all the time. I don't want to be pulled out of Facebook and then pulled into a completely different app that they support to send a message. I think that's a bit much and a bit intrusive because now you're forcing me. You're not even giving me an option. You're forcing me to use an app that I possibly don't even want to use. So, I think that overall it sucks. I don't want them to start doing that. But then it gets to use Facebook at some point.
I totally agree. I mean, if I want to use the app is one thing, but they are basically forcing you to use the app. And cause since I don't use the app, I see the little reminder up by my messages. Oh, you have like three unviewed messages or whatnot, and I can't get that to go away. It's like really, really, you constantly showing me I have these messages, but it'll pop up in my notification, the actual message, but then I can't respond to the message unless I
Yeah,
install Messenger, and that
yeah.
makes me so angry. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Y'all just gonna have to just whatever. I'm not installing that at
I don't
all.
blame you. I don't blame you not one bit.
So I have to let people know, hey, I don't have Messenger. Don't send me messages because I can't reply to them. So
I heard there's a Kickstarter. I forgot the name of the social app, but there's a Kickstarter that's in competition with Facebook. And so far, like I said, it's a Kickstarter application, not app that you can download. And people are saying that it's like a firewall to where Facebook is. It's actually just like it's similar in ways, but it's not as intrusive, and it's actually better. I'll get the name to you guys as soon as I can, but we need to start looking into alternatives because, listen, once the apps start coming and once the money start coming and all the advertising like it is on Facebook start coming, you can honestly expect them to start charging to use that particular product.
it's coming. It is definitely coming because Facebook is entirely too big.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree.
So here I see another article in reference to what I discussed with you guys last episode in reference to PlayStation Home.
Mhm.
Ex-PlayStation Home developers want to build a new virtual world for the PlayStation 4. Now, I'm not going to read the article, but how do you guys feel about that?
You want to go, Thuggy?
Yeah. I think it's good because they're basically making it for the people who actually use the PlayStation Home. People who might want to go and try out that one who already has upgrades to the PS4. I think it's good that they is because thinking about the fans of the PlayStation Home to go ahead and just make something new for them.
Okay.
PlayStation Home. I really didn't use PlayStation Home when it was available for the PS3. Personally, I didn't really I really didn't think that it was a place for it. As far as the timely fashion that it was put out, it was kind of put out there, and it was like a community or a place that needed to be supported first, and there wasn't enough infrastructure in the beginning for that to be prosper, so it can experience prosperity, and it could be something that I would want to use on a consistent basis. Now, if they actually really think this through and actually make this more, immersive and make you feel like you're a part of something that's bigger than microtransactions or bigger than like you experienced Lynn men hitting on you in the past, then great. You know what I mean? But it has to be innovative. It has to be intuitive to what they're trying to do. And so far, I really don't know what the message is as far as what they will be doing, building a new app or new world where this is a feature in it.
Well, basically, what they're saying is this place is going to be called Neotopia. Neotopia is a virtual world for PS4 built with Unreal Engine 4. It sounds a lot like as an avatar. There will be public spaces, of course. So basically, it's going into things that you could do on old home. Okay. So basically, the developer is currently crowdfunding Neotopia on Kickstarter. So you can actually find this on Kickstarter.
Hmm.
And it says it's Neotopia's vision is to bring together like-minded people who can interact, build, share, and play. It's a world where you can make new friends and keep in touch with old ones in any setting you choose. A world with everything from idyllic beaches to mountain peaks, from medieval castles to shining metropolis of the future, all of which is your playground, all of which is yours. So they're asking I don't know what the conversion rate is, but $250,000. So they feel the developers feel like it's doable. Um, Basically, they're stating that virtual worlds are huge and complex with their own rules and laws, and the amount of money we're raising is much lower than many would expect, as the core team will be taking minimal salaries and, in several cases, zero. Wow, that's big. Our biggest challenge will be to get the project delivered in a stable state with a steady stream of content ready when we can use to expand and grow Neotopia post-launch. So once we're up and running, the trick will be to cope with viable server loads and as efficiently as possible, taking on staff as required to help keep Neotopia ticking over smoothly 24 hours a day. We'll also need to recruit community managers experienced in all issues of virtual worlds to help us mediate and develop Neotopia along with its community. So if the Kickstarter is successful, Neotopia will come out April 2015. So they even have a date.
Oh wow, that's really impressive. Actually, that's pretty soon because if they're still funding, doing a Kickstarter deal, funding this thing, then they're pretty much assured, folks, that this is going to be something that's done or that's going to be done within the next 5 to 6 months, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they want to support their own world, their own ecosystem, and I'm for that. There's been gamers who actually made money. I don't know how they made money on the last PlayStation Home that was on the PS3. I don't know if they made products or designed clothing or so on and etc. But there is a market for that. And I forgot the name of the game that does that. That's on PC.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm sure you're probably familiar with that game. And the name can't come to me right now. But you're pretty much in a world where it's all created by the players that are inhabiting it. And it has its own monetary system and ecosystem similar to what this sounds like it's going to have. I need to see more what they're going to be offering, and why would I even want to invest in participating in that instead of just playing a game. Mm-hmm. So I just need a little bit more visual info on it.
Okay. Well, it's on Kickstarter if you want to check it out.
Will do.
Well, something that's it's somewhat gaming related, but not really. I mean, if you're into tablets, it is. So Apple, Apple is looking to announce its new iPad Air later this month. So, what do y'all feel about Apple looking to, you know, come out with another Apple product as they do every single year? But before you answer, rumors and rumblings are basically suggesting the new iPad Air will feature an A8 chip, anti-reflective coating on the screen, Touch ID, Apple Pay, and improved cameras front and back. So.
Did you forget that it's bulletproof too?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Personally, I really I don't see the point in buying Apple products because there's always a product that is similar, but a lot cheaper in price. And I usually go towards the cheaper product. Not that I'm sacrificing quality, but there are some items out there that are similar to what Apple makes and are actually better. Personally, from my personal experience, like the Samsung brand of their tablets, I'm a big supporter of that. I've always been a supporter of Samsung, but if this is something that people are going to buy, then they're going to buy it. I mean, you see the Apple iPhone 6 came out and it's bending in folks' pockets, but that ain't stopped them from buying it. Phone is $600, $700, and folks are lining up days in advance to get this thing. So it seems like if Apple was to put out a phone that looked like a popsicle stick, people would buy it anyway. So I wouldn't be a buyer in it. I'm not interested in that.
Thuggy?
Yeah, I'm not interested in it either. You come out with like new ones every. I really don't see any real big difference from it. Except for those little CPU upgrades and what cameras, whatever they do with it. It's really not. It's really not nothing that I would go and buy. Like on Bawse, I would get something that's a little bit cheaper. I forgot what it's called, but it's a Windows thing that allows you to use USBs. Like I would rather get that than getting the iPad thing. People basically get the Apple products because it's an Apple, but it got other things out there that's better than that, in my opinion.
Well, I have an article here. Hackers were charged with theft from studios like Microsoft, Valve, and Epic. So there were 4 hackers that have been charged by the U.S. Department of Justice with breaking into computer networks of prominent technology companies and the U.S. Army and stealing more than $100 million in intellectual property and proprietary data.
Yeah, the world's going to end now.
So the Department of Justice basically stated the variety of crimes in the original indictment. The group of hackers assessed networks of Epic Games, Valve, Zombie Studios, and Microsoft in 2011, 2012, and 2013. Basically from Epic, they obtained a copy of Gears of War 3 almost a year before it was up for release. From Valve, a copy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer beta long before its release. So Zombie Studios is a pretty small developer, not just compared to likes of Valve, Microsoft, and Epic, but overall they're not a huge team. So blah blah blah. So they also do contracted work for the Army. Wow, that's crazy. So they developed a simulator for some type of Apache helicopter, and I guess they accessed that and shared it. So this is bad. 2 of which have pled guilty, so they'll face up to 5 years in prison along with the $250,000 fine. A 5th hacker, I'm not stating these people's names. They've not been charged but are under investigation by the Australian government. So this is nuts.
Wow, they just gave them everything.
They are basically, what they need to do is hire these people. Seriously. Because if they can hack into your systems, you need them so they can teach you how to make your systems more unhackable.
Yeah,
So.
I agree with you on that. I mean, remember I told you guys the last podcast? Well, I don't think I told you during the podcast, but I had that experience where I was playing my Xbox One, and I was in a bathrobe and unrobed, and the camera was on, and it
Oh
said that
yeah.
I was broadcasting. I mean, it's crazy because you don't even need to necessarily be, online or even playing a game or even broadcasting for them to actually look in on you. And we got to thank George Bush for passing that Patriot Act back in September 11th, because now the government don't even have to tell you. We think that those leaked pictures that the celebrities are suing the government about or Google about are a big issue. The government's been looking at your pictures. People been looking at your private photos. Anything you upload to the internet, it's not private anymore. You might think it's
Mhm.
private, but it's not. That is owned by a freaking company. You think the company is not looking at your photos? They might not be sharing them, but they're looking at your stuff. So I think
Mhm.
people need to be more realistic. And it kills me when Americans say that we want privacy, we embrace privacy, but you don't fight against the practices that evade your privacy. You don't speak out against the practices that evade your privacy or deny you the right to privacy. So it's a bunch of malarkey when people talk about, we want to be private. This is my home. This should be a private sanctuary. All good. And yes, when it's all said and done, but are you practicing those ethics and that's going to grant? We all got flat screen TVs and cameras and Xbox Ones with a Connect. So it's kind of hard to really have anything that's private, especially in this day and age when, the internet is like the number one communicating source and transfer of information worldwide. So that's going to, anytime you're dealing with any type of vital information, is the bound opportunity for it to get leaked some way or somehow.
That's true. Does anybody else have any other questions, comments, articles they would like to share?
Destiny is gonna be down tomorrow. They're supposed to be basically fixing some bugs and stuff.
Okay.
That sucks. Well, Lynn probably doesn't care because she don't have Destiny, right?
Not anymore. I took advantage, got my $40 back.
I bet you did, girl. I mean, listen, man. We all know the history of Destiny so far at this point, over at least a month into the game so far, since it's been released. But there's also been some Destiny news. Fans demanding that new features will be implemented into the game, and the fact that raid matches have some form of matchmaking. And this is where I'm going to say this hits home with me because I have a lot of friends, but we all don't game or at least play the same games at the same time. And I'm lucky. I might get two or three people that's on my friend list to play Destiny with me. But when you're doing a raid, you need to have
Mhm.
at least six people because it's very
Exactly.
hard. It's very long. So the four of us might go into this raid like, yo, look, we're gonna get this done and do it. But it's somewhat hard complete because you need a complete fire team of six people. So I think that matchmaking in the raid department or component of the game would make more sense because just like when you join a strike, they join you with two random folks. When you do a raid, they should join you with five other random people so that you can at least experience that because I've had very bad experiences doing the raid because it's extremely hard. You can even try to do the raid by yourself. You would never get past the 30 minutes of the game.
Mhm.
So I think that Destiny's saying that they're listening. Bungie, actually, I should say, they're saying that they're listening to the gamers and listening to the feedback that we want. But we'll
Thuggy, anything you want to add?
Some the general manager of one of them Nintendo's research and engineering department has retired, and they said that he's worked on a lot of different things, including the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, Nintendo DS. He worked on games like Mario, Metroid, and Kid Icarus.
And he's retiring?
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
I've never played that game. I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. I believe it was a game that was available for the Nintendo NES. I actually didn't get a chance to experience that game. There's a ton of games in the 3DS that I have not.
Okay, you lagged a little bit there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
No, what I was saying was that that's something that I've never got the opportunity to play.
Mhm.
I believe it was a game that was available for the Nintendo NES back in the day when it first initially launched. So I really can't tell you any information on it. Actually, I would like to see gameplay of it before I make a decision when I ever do get a Nintendo 3DS to buy it or not.
Okay. There's an article stating they were saying you want to get your indie game some attention? Draw PewDiePie. So basically, those that are trying to get their indie games up and running, they should try to get PewDiePie to play them. This dude is just, woo, he's
Man,
big.
you probably got to pay him though for you to do that.
Probably. Then again, maybe not. I don't know exactly how that works. My understanding is a lot of these indie developers, they tend to just give their game out to get it some exposure. That free press is what kind of,
But you know
I
what's
don't
crazy?
know.
You know what's crazy, Lynn? I saw this dude play a few games, right?
Yeah.
But it really don't look like he's good at gaming. It looked like he just play games, which is cool. That's what you're supposed to do if you were gaming. But it doesn't look like he's any good. I want to see him play a game against other players. Like if you're really good at Call of Duty, if you're really good at Halo, show me some gameplay of you really kicking ass and really holding your own. I
Hmm.
really don't see why he really gets the hits that he get. I understand that the industry is predominantly, a white industry that's supported, and it's not a lot of minorities in it. And I'm sure maybe a few minorities support him, but I'm sure not the entire vast amount of people support him. But I mean, I want to see why you deserve 20 million views a hit. I don't see it. Maybe I'm just in a minority pool by myself, but I don't see it.
I don't either, to be honest. I don't get it. But I mean, I guess this is the way that they're trying to get their press or whatnot, considering, I don't know, does he have the most subscribers on YouTube, or is he just one of the highest paid YouTubers? I don't know
No,
much about
he
him.
has the most subscribers on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that is nuts. He's in his early 20s, isn't he? He's
Yep.
young.
Yep. Yep. He's a young guy.
He's really young. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Well, I guess he would be the go-to guy, considering your game would most likely get viewed by more people. I mean, I think it would depend on the type of game too, because, like I said, from what I understand, the majority of his subscribers are tweens. I don't know for sure, but anybody else have anything else to add?
Yeah, I would also like to let guys know that you can actually look forward to some Red Dead Redemption for the Xbox 360 gameplay coming to my channel. I've been playing that over the last weekend, and I'm going to be trying something new. What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be basically playing this game in its entirety, doing a review, then putting up the gameplay. And I want to know what you guys are looking forward to buying. Actually, that's about to come out. The next game that's about to come out, actually, I should say, what is it that you guys are going to get?
Thuggy?
Fancy life.
Definitely. Well, I know I have some games that I pre-ordered. Now I can't even remember them all. But see, I never pre-ordered, goodness, Far Cry. So I might just go and pick that up. But wow. I don't even know anymore, to be honest, because the last game that I pre-ordered that I was so stoked for was Destiny. Um, what I have pre-ordered now, of course, is Fantasy Life. So I'm waiting to play that. I don't think I have anything else pre-ordered, to be honest, other than the Wii U version of Smash.
Okay, the Wii U version of Smash. You're gonna be getting
Hmm.
that.
What was that?
The Wii version of Smash. You're gonna be getting that.
Yeah, yeah, that's pre-ordered. But I also pre-ordered the game guide, the adapter, and the controller.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because my understanding is if you want to play Smash, you got to play it, on the right controller. So,
Yeah, I've heard that several times. That's the only thing. Like when I get my Wii U, I'm not gonna be able to play on that big ass pad. And God bless the folks that are able to play on it. I just don't see how that would be comfortable for me. I would have to get the Pro controller.
oh, I use the Pro controller religiously.
Yeah,
I do not use the gamepad, and I'm glad that on Monster Hunter, because I have the Monster Hunter Ultimate. On that, you can actually use the Pro controller.
yeah,
So I use it for that, which I haven't played in a while, but I use it for that. I don't use that gamepad for anything
right.
unless I absolutely have to. And the only time I absolutely have to is if I'm playing like the Wii Fit game, or if I'm playing some of the little sports games and stuff. Other
Yeah,
than that, I don't use the controller. I use the Pro controller. That's my go-to. It's more comfortable, in my opinion.
I agree. I can see why it's comfortable because I can hold that big ass screen
Uh-uh.
and play for hours at a time on it. Plus, I heard that it dies very quick.
It does. That's what I was going to say.
So
You're not going to be able to play for hours at a time. You're going to have to charge it back, either plug it up while you're playing or put it back on the charger and have another go-to, which,
but let me ask you a question. Since the Wii U been out a couple of years now, don't you think that by now they should have had a newer version of the gamepad or a smaller version that's more comfortable and feasible to use that lasts longer? At least by now.
well, considering they're not getting the support they need, they're probably not even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they ditched the console altogether and just continue on with handhelds, because that seems to be their saving grace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
can't I can't wait for the new 3DS. When that come out, I'm selling my old 3DS XL definitely,
I don't blame you.
and just strictly use that one. So plus I'll be able to play my Xenoblade Chronicles and my Monster Hunter 4.
You already got your lineup ready.
Well, those are only two games thus far, but yeah, they look really good too.
Yeah, I don't blame you. The next game that I'm looking forward to getting right now is Alien Isolation. I picked up Shadow of Mordor last week. Alien Isolation launches, I believe, the end of this week. You'll be able to get that. I'm thinking about getting that, and then after that is Far Cry, and then after that is Assassin's Creed, and then after that, I don't know what else is coming out personally.
Well, Alien Isolation is available now on Steam.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
I read an article on that too.
Okay.
That game is too creepy. I can't do it. I
Yes.
saw some
Yes.
gameplay and I could barely watch like 5 minutes of it before I'm like, all right, I'm done. I gotta
Come
go. This
on.
this is
Come
too
on,
much.
Lynn. You gotta try that.
No, no. I would throw that controller across the room. I couldn't
but
do it.
see, but see, that's how an alien game should be. It should be terrifying. You should feel like the odds are against you. There's no way but to be quiet and sneak around and whimper in the corner when the alien comes around. I
Oh my
enjoy that.
goodness, that is crazy. Look, I want to see live play of when you get that game. I want
You
to
will.
see.
You will.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to stream that, and I'm going to
Yeah.
use the camera, and you guys are going to see my reactions live.
Yeah, I'll be screaming right along with you, buddy. No, that game is nuts, nuts.
Yeah.
Thuggy, you anticipating any other games coming out this year?
Um, I was kind of, I kind of wanted to get the WWE. on 15 game, but I'm not too sure about that. Probably the Dragon Age game, even though I haven't played in the previous one, I might try that out.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
I have nothing else. Dougie, you got anything?
Uh, what do y'all think about the PlayStation is doing basically like a charity event, like it's called Extra Life, when you basically play a game for 24 hours. Like it's supposed to be to raise money for hospitals, children hospitals. And any one of y'all thinking about participating in that?
Like, how would you go about doing it? Do you just have to stream yourself playing a game live for 24 hours straight?
Well, it's a site you have to sign up for
Oh, okay.
and stuff like that.
Well, I could barely play a game for 3 hours, better yet 24. They ain't gonna work for me.
Well, I mean, personally, I think that I think it would be cool, but I want to know how you would actually even qualify, or how would you even sign up, and how would you even be earning money by you playing video games? Like, how
I,
would they check to see if you was actually playing the game, or even a participant in that?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. Okay. Anything else?
I believe that's about it, as far as I know.
Thuggy?
Just one little story. The Final Fantasy Explorers won't support the 3D effect on the 3DS.
Yeah, that doesn't phase me any because I don't use 3D when I play my games anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I might cut it on periodically just to see how certain stages or certain things look, but I've never played a game full on 3D. I mean,
Oh,
to
really?
me, no, to me, I feel that it can damage people's eyes. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but I don't do it. I mean, do you guys feel that 3D damage people's eyes?
Hell yeah! I mean, listen, man. I mean, once you, I mean, once you in the 30-year range, I mean, when I go to the movie theater, because I remember when I was young, I used to sit all the way in the back and be able to see the movie very clear. Now, when I go watch a movie in the movie theater, I got to put my glasses on.
Hmm.
So, 'cause I don't want to mess up or destroy anything that has anything to do with my eye or being able to visually see. So, I don't even play the 3D type of fidelity or 3D type of games. I just think that that's a risk. Maybe when you're young, cool, but when you older and you got eye issues already, it's not as fun to me. Because
Dougie,
Hmm?
do you feel that that bothers your eyes, playing games in 3D?
Yeah. What with this current 3DS it does, because you gotta hold it in a certain position.
Uh-huh.
But from what I have read, they say that the new 3DS, it's easy to see the 3D more, and it really doesn't know. It's really not hard to see the 3D anymore. No, it's very easy to see the 3D, and it's playable with the 3D on.
Mhm.
But with the current one, only time I really use it if I'm playing it at nighttime. That's the only time I actually will play it. And I'm playing like for instance, I play Mario Kart like with the 3D on, and
I don't
that's
think I've ever you played that with 3D.
huh?
I don't even think I've ever played Mario Kart with 3D on.
Um,
I mean, even with the Excel, you have to hold it a certain way. Even though the screen is bigger, the resolution is still the same, and that viewing angle is still the same. So you still have to hold it a certain way when you're playing games on the Excel. So hopefully it will be better. I mean, that's not to say that I'll use it more because I just feel that 3D kind of messes with people's eyes anyway, especially kids, you know. So I don't know. I don't even know if I'll use it because I very seldom do. I don't use it at all. Like I said, I'll just use it to turn it on to see how certain things look, and I cut it right back off. I'm fine with playing in 2D. Okay. Any
Yeah.
other articles, questions, comments?
Yeah, I want to know what you guys think about the state of or at least the state of minorities on YouTube. All three of us being minorities or being black, I'd rather say that. You know, in our sector of YouTube, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of support for gamers like there are in our counterparts. You know, especially in the major YouTube channels like IG and Machinima, you know, GameSpot, so on and etc. When I watch those channels, I see a lack of diversity amongst you know the people who are bringing the news and the people that they showcase on their channel. Even though I understand that the industry is predominantly white, I do feel like there is a large majority of us that play games just as much as they do, but just lack the support or the infrastructure to be able to build, you know, a brand or just to build a community. You know what I mean? And that's what I try to do with my UGN channel. That was
Mm.
my initial thought because I feel like you know we can't become who we are. We can't be as popular as other folks because we just don't get the support. And I feel like we don't get the validation that we are just as good as the people that are bringing you the other forms of entertainment. I feel like black journalism, black gamers just aren't looked at the same way when it comes to gaming from other folks of other races. And I feel like that's always been my issue to me personally because I feel like, you know, why do I have to fight twice as hard just to be a fucking gamer on YouTube to get some support where, you know, someone can be a dumbass, be a jackass, don't know what they're talking about, swearing a lot on their channel, get all the support in their world, and it feel like there's a double standard when it comes to that. What do you guys think?
Thuggy?
Um. Yeah, I agree. You know, I think it's because of how certain people talk. You know, on YouTube, they got a lot. I guess you know, use slang and curse a lot. You know, but I guess that the acting goofy and stuff gets more attention compared to you know just um being proper, I guess, or whatever. I'm not so sure. I don't know. I guess it's because though it's because they may have started earlier on from like the beginning of YouTube, and that's what has caused them to you know gain that much support. And it's, you know it's like thousands of people nowadays making you know gameplays and stuff, and that most people stick with the top people. So I think that's what causes you know YouTubers who doesn't have. I think that's what causes people who's now just starting off on YouTube to not get as much support as the guys who's been there from like the start. They don't want to check out new people stuff. They want to stick to the stuff they already been watching.
Well, from my experience of doing videos and from looking at other people's videos that are pretty good, you know, pretty good YouTubers, very informative and things, you know, down in the comments section, you always have the trolls. You know, you'll always have people that are speaking derogatory things or speaking negatively about your content or, whatever the case may be. But you don't see those types of comments in other people's, videos. You'll see debates, which is normal. You'll see debates. But I've seen, like, in a lot of our videos, there will be a lot of derogatory comments in the videos, and people just automatically just trolling and hating your videos. It could, for whatever reason. I've learned to turn a blind eye to that crap. I don't even entertain those that make those types of comments. But like I said, I've seen that in a lot of other people's comment section as well, of people that are very good YouTubers, that do like a lot of tech videos or whatever the case may be. And granted, yes, I have seen a lot of videos as well of people with just curse a lot in their videos, very derogatory. And it seems that people like those people tend to get more subscribers. I honestly don't understand why. But we don't, I feel we are not getting the same respect, I guess, as other YouTubers. And I mean, that seems to be across the board. It's like if you're a female and you're of color and you game, then yeah, you get a lot of that too. Oh, you don't do nothing, you don't blah 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 blah, blah. Or if you're just of color in general, I have seen a lot of just really nasty and hateful comments. Or even if you're, a lot like for instance Boogie, he's a little overweight, so his videos, he gets a lot of hate comments just because of his weight issue. Now, I like his videos because he's just funny. I like him, and he's informative as well. So, I really don't, look at that as a factor in oh, well, people like to hide behind a computer and a keyboard, and they like to talk smack. That's just what they do. It's not right, but that's what I tend to see a lot of when I watch people's videos. And a lot of these videos are very good, but they still don't get the credit for whatever reason.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that, but I think that also, it was a saying. It was a saying that somebody told me a long time ago. It was like, if you want black folks to believe anything, send a white person to tell them, because blacks don't support other blacks, and I really don't understand why that is, and why that's the case, especially here in America, because of the history and the climate of America. But I've seen and I've experienced, other folks that would generally not support you, but will support somebody else just because they feel like, well, they got to be right. What they're saying got to be right because they are who they are. But if I was telling them the same thing, then it's like, well, he don't know what he's talking about. Who this dude is? Who this nigga is? You know what I mean? And I didn't like that feeling.
Well, I've seen that too in a lot of Facebook groups.
Yeah.
I've seen that in a lot of Facebook groups as well, where people don't really respect one another or each other's views, or people take things extremely lightly, or they want to make it into a debate, or totally contradict what people are saying with no type of background information whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's hard for anybody to do anything positive or whatnot without having all of these unnecessary repercussions.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I ran into like a little problem on YouTube couple of weeks back. Guy was trying to tell me it's something that I thought was. He was trying to tell me something what I thought. He was trying to tell me I didn't know that. It was just stupid. So I just muted. I just blocked the guy. He was trying to tell me that I didn't know what I was talking about. It's my own thoughts. So yeah. People just like to start no trouble or whatever.
It's sad though. It really is.
I agree. I agree with you on that.
Anything else while we're here? Nothing, Thuggy? Nothing, Bawse?
Nah.
Okay. Well, this has been another episode of Gamers Nation 1234 Random Topics. So yeah, I guess we're going to close the episode here. I want to thank you guys for being a part of the show. I want to thank you, one viewer, for also being a part of the show. We didn't get any questions this go around, so hopefully we'll get questions for Wednesday's episode. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Everybody have their own channels as well, and we will do the outro for that in just a bit. But make sure to ask questions. Your guys' questions can basically make the show. So be sure to do that. Get involved. Ask questions. Whatever it is in gaming, whether it's a comment, whether it's a question, anything to get involved. We thrive on you guys being involved in our discussions as well. So we are going to close for now. So, and as Great Will would say, Bawse, advertise yourself.
Okay, well anyway guys, I am Brooklyn Bawse. You can find me on YouTube at Brooklyn Bawse. I do game reviews, gameplay, of course, game news daily throughout the week. I do not do any game news or gameplay on the weekend, so you will not see any gameplay or game news on my channel on the weekend. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at BawseGamer101. You can also add me on the Xbox One at RastaFace84. You can also add me on the PS4 at BawseGamer84. Anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We do it because we're gamers. We do it because we want you guys to subscribe to Gamers Nation. Please leave questions at the bottom. We do appreciate it. We will respond to you in a timely fashion. So anyway, I'm Brooklyn Bawse. Peace.
And Thuggy, advertise yourself.
Thuggy.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Thuggy Plus. You can check my channel out. That's the plus sign, not the word. I pretty much do unboxings, talk about game topics that interest me. And I give impressions on certain games that I like. As well, you can tweet me on Twitter at I am Thuggy. Also check my channel if you want to add me on the PlayStation 3 if you want to play in games, or my 3S frame code if you want to play in games as well. Got a 3S game collection coming up. So yeah, check that out if y'all want to play any multiplayer games I got. But yeah, tweet me at Twitter if you want to chat anytime. That's I am Thuggy.
Cool. Okay. And I am Lynn, aka iPod One Reviewer here on YouTube. And I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So help me out, people. Help a sister out. I don't have any game. Well, yeah, I might have. I have a Destiny gameplay video, But other than that, I basically do unboxings, how-to videos, things of that nature. My favorite are the how-to videos. I enjoy helping people. So, hopefully I'll have more of that coming up soon. You can follow me on Twitter at iPod One Reviewer as well. That's iPod, the number 1 Reviewer. So that's here on Facebook as well as Twitter. And you can check my blog out at iPod1Reviewer.blogspot.com. So I will pick more so up on that as well to get more blogs and things out to you guys. So yeah, be sure to follow our channels and follow the Gamers Nation 1234 channel as well. We have many more people on the panel, but of course a lot of people could not make it today, and I again thank you guys for being here. So yeah, that's about it. So thank you for checking out Gamers Nation, and you guys take care and be safe.